Before we start, over here at Weapons Outfitter booth, they have the AR standard capacity giveaway. So I don't know what language they're using in those bills to include assault weapons. I don't have assault weapons. I have defensive weapons. So, but if you guys haven't stopped by the Weapons Outfitter booth, they are giving away standard capacity AR magazine. So go ahead, if you guys got an AR, go ahead and pick some up. Washington State Police and DES are welcome if you guys have some. I know you have some. Yeah, so you guys are more than welcome to approach the booth. And it's it's to show the public these are standard capacity. They are not some scary mag capacity assault. So stop by the booth and pick yourself up, and again, we're going to start in about 4 minutes. Thanks.
Here it is. Feel free to give her pets. She's all about it. She'll probably swing her butter on.
Adding to my collection.
Yep. Okay.
So, brother, hey, wouldn't that be a Dan Smallwood?
Oh, yeah.
That's really nice.
How you doing? I don't either particularly. My kids are still here. My partner's got a kid, but her husband would never allow her. So for 6 years,
Sandbag?
he said he was coming, but his son comes in from the big deployment. Over to Poland. Yeah, so they come in. And so he said he was going to try to come here for an hour and then head to record for this one.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Peter, are you ready?
I was looking up this rally and saw your name.
He's the one doing this.
Okay.
I'm the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know.
I'm on a permanent ban on social media. So they battle track all my phones, so I can't even get on any other platform. If they're related, I can't. They battle track. So anytime you do like an email, you got to put your phone number.
Yeah.
I even tried using my wife's number, but because we're on the family plan, I get like little messages like, no go.
Yeah, don't even try it.
Don't even. You suck.
Yeah, see, I haven't tried to use my phone back when I did before, they zapped me.
I'm not willing to, because I have so many family members that been so used to my phone. I was thinking about just getting rid of that number and
I get on with my computer and all.
You're doing this to your own page or something else?
All right, we're going to start. If I can get Cedar up here. And for administrative purposes, the flag behind us is the flag that we are going to face. And I have Cedar Charles from the Lower Elwha tribe. She's going to be doing our Pledge of Allegiance, and then she's going to do a quick word on why the Second Amendment is important to our youth. And then I'll have her father, Ben Charles, Chief Ben Charles, from also the Lower Elwha tribe, and he's going to do our blessing and prayer, and he's going to do a quick words. And then we'll pass it off to Rick, who is the founder of the Gun Rights Coalition movement. And again, thank you for braving the weather, being here, participating in government. And again, the last 2 years they've been trying to hinder us to do this. But many of you, I can't run to another state. I'm a professional soldier. I don't run, and so I'm gonna stay and fight, not only for all of us but for our kids. And I'm gonna continue to be here. And I'll be here day in and day out. I've been here when I've been all alone, staring at 2,000 eyeballs at me and saying, why don't you quit already? But I'm here. We're all here. And thank you. All right? Cedar girl.
Hello, my name is Cedar Charles. I am from the Lower Elwha tribe in Port Angeles, Washington. I have the honor to say the Pledge of Allegiance with you guys today. So, yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Growing up, I was taught a lot about my Second Amendment rights and how it should never even be an option about it being taken away from us. And as a Native American young woman growing up in the society, I know especially how important it is to protect those rights. Thank you for joining us today, and I have the honor to introduce my dad, Chief.
Ohio, Ohio, Tony's chat, Tony's chat, I squatchy ayu, Tony's chat, Tony's chat. My friends, my family, respected elders, honorable veterans. My name is Ben Charles Jr. from the Lower Elwha tribe, way up north. It's an honor to be here with you today. It's an honor to open you with prayer as we bless this day. One and only Creator, I thank you for today. I thank you for getting everybody here. I pray for those that are on their way, get them here safely. I pray for those that aren't able to be here today. I lift up this generation. I lift up future generations. I will never scoff at small beginnings. We haven't had an opportunity to gather like this for this. But I do know one thing. Not one of us here, and many others that aren't here, are not going to be taking a knee. We're going to continue to stand strong. And we're going to walk united, not divided. We're not going to walk in fear. Division and fear has riddled our state, our country, our world far too long. And I look forward to the many adventures that we all have as we continue to walk this out. Because it does say, shall not be infringed, and that's why we're here. And that's why we're going to continue to do what we do. I love the conversations that we've had, and I look forward to everybody having conversations throughout this gathering. Bless everyone. Give everyone peaceful rest. Every person here is called to leadership, so I declare as leaders that we act and not react. That's what some of these folks that are elected officials, servants to the people, are doing. They're reacting. And that's not the route that we need them to go. So Lord, I declare all of those people that are inside, that are not listening to the people, that are called to be servants to the people, Lord, that you remove them and replace them with people that will be servants to the people, that will hear the people, that will stand righteously, even though it may not be very popular to those that are trying to pay them, bribe them, bully them, blackmail them. We just want to hold them accountable to be servants to the people. In Yeshua's mighty name, amen.
Amen.
I want to thank my daughter, Cedar, for opening us up with the pledge, for opening us up with some words. This is this generation. That's why we're standing here. I think you did a good job, honey. Thank you.
Thanks, Cedar.
Woo! I gave her the challenge. I said, would you take the challenge to speak? It's not her first time speaking. She speaks often. I believe in never putting anybody on the spot, never embarrass. Oh, wait, no. Always puts people on the spot and always embarrass them. But that's okay, because she will take the challenge. And I'm grateful to hear her voice ringing out through this area. It won't be the last time. Be familiar with her face. She's going to be taking pictures as she goes through the day today, and so smile for her. We're here today to make a stand for our Second Amendment. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. As I read it, it says boldly, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. I'm blessed to be a native as well as Jewish heritage. So I believe I qualify for speaking on some of this parts of arms being infringed on in different parts of the world. And when that happens, there are horrific things that happen to the people. I've traveled around this world in different ways. I've been to places that people do not have the right to bear arms. I've been to countries that are already in the cesspool that this country is trying to lead towards. I've never had one of them say, hey, this is great, you guys should do what we do. Give up your arms and let the government totally control everything you do. We love it. I've never seen that. I've never heard that from the average citizen. The media may tell you that, but I've never heard that from a citizen. The only reason they want to take our rights away for the Second Amendment is so that they can dominate us, control us, and if it comes necessary, to kill us. To kill us. And that's a fact. I've seen it in my history of my families. Lots and lots of my family members, I've talked to elders. It has cost them everything because they did not have the right to bear arms. That's why we're here today. That's why I'm here today. In Native culture, they have this saying, everything we do is for the next 7 generations. It sounds really good, doesn't it? Oh man, I see lots of political people use that. I always raise my hand. Oh, I have a question. They go, oh, it's not question time. I go, I know, I have a question though. Well, we're not going to have questions today. I go, I know, that's awesome. I have a question. And they go, all right, this idiot, this tattooed, short, fat, tattooed half-breed's not going to go away. We may as well. What's your quick question? I go, what are you doing for this generation? That's the general answer. And I go, okay, thank you. They go, no, I didn't answer. I go, no, you did. You did answer. If we don't do something for this generation, my daughter's generation, your daughter's, your grandchildren's generation, there won't be a 7th generation having this opportunity. There won't be. They're on a fast track to take that. All that's going to be left, there's going to be clones and zombies under full control, sitting around waiting to be told what to do. That's a fact. We already see a lot of that happening. My family and I, we have an outreach. It's called Crazy Faith, not Crazy Face. Everyone goes, oh, is that your Indian name? No. I guess I look kind of crazy, but it's Crazy Faith. We get to go places maybe others don't feel called to. And we just go there, and all we do is we simply love the hell out of people. We meet them where they're at and love the hell out of them. And when we go, I'm strapped. I'm a machine gun minister. Some people ask me, oh, are you scared the places that you go? Oh, you're too scared to go there without that? I go, no, I'm fine. I know where I'm going to be for an eternity. I know. But the thing is, I don't know the folks around me if they're prepared to know where they're going to be for eternity. So my job is to make sure that people are safe. That's why. And so that's why this small remnant is important to me. Because I want to make sure that people around me are kept safe so that I can provide that in a healthy way. I guess part of the challenge that a lot of us are standing here is because these folks right in here, some people call them leaders. I call them elected officials and servants to the people, right? Some of these folks want to pass laws for anything goes. Laws. Any kind of drugs for anything. All these different things. They want to make sure that they're organizing as much chaos, division as possible. There's a verse in the Bible that says, evil only wants to kill and destroy. Woo! Wonder if that resembles anything, but I'll leave it at that. But the thing is, they've designed it to pass these laws to weaken everything. Not just to allow things. They think that they're giving us a favor, but to weaken everything. To weaken the people, to weaken society, to weaken our police force. Our police their hands are so tied in so many ways. But guess who they want to turn them loose on? Us. Because of that, we need to vote a number of these so-called servants to the people out. We need to be showing up at the polls. But we need to be praying for those that are counting the votes. We need to be praying for those that are there observing to keep people accountable to be counting the votes. We've seen far too many disparities in that way. Even though in those times that people stand with honor as they're counting, those that are observing are not allowing themselves to be pushed out, and so they're not able to do their job, that they'll make their stand. A lot of times people go, well, this is a small remnant here. Well, I read a really good book. I carry it around with me a lot. It's the #1 published book in the world. You may have read it. It's called the Bible. There's a lot of information in there about small remnants. Small remnants that make the stand. And the Heavenly Father reaches down and gives them victory. Victory! This is small, but I declare victory in this building. This is the people's building. We're in desperate times. I want to remind these folks, if they have over a 6th grade reading level, they should be reading the Constitution again. They should be reading it. They should know it. There's a little booklet that's handed out a lot. I think we should go bless them on their desks. They probably won't let us in there unless we had a full hazmat suit on. But we should hand those out again to these folks. You know why? They're going to have to answer at Judgment Day. They can do whatever they want here. We all get to answer. We all get to answer where we're going to have our stay for eternity. I don't want to wait that long for them to have to answer. I want them to answer now, right here, because I have kiddos right out here that I want to make sure that they have the right to bear arms. As I was saying, this is the people's building. It is in theory, isn't it? Supposed to be? Okay. Well, I just remember, and I'm not going to get into all the details on why, but you can't open carry in the people's building? Is that correct?
Supposed to open carry even right here.
Not supposed to open carry here. Oh. Is it because all the folks that are here are the threat to... No.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they think so. Okay. Yeah, they want to change it for the upstanding citizens that have the right to bear arms that can't open carry in the building. But they want to make you the criminal while they let the criminals run rampant in all sorts of other ways. Isn't that crazy? That's not crazy faith. We're crazy faith here, but that's ludicrous. I don't think it's about safety at all. Because not one person here has ill intentions towards anybody in there. Not one. Yeah. And if there was, I see some bold people that would go up to people and go, hey, that's not what we're about. Pump the brakes. We're not afraid to make the stand and tell folks, hey, that's not how things are going to be. We're here to keep things safe here. I'm going to say this all over. Everyone exercising their right to bear arms, if there was, we wouldn't see the cluster that we have today. Since all those anything go laws have been put into place, it's allowed crime, murder, rape, and every other injustice thing that's completely skyrocketed, folks. We've seen it all over. We have the right to bear arms, and that is not to be infringed on. It's our responsibility to make sure that it continues for the next, not just 7 generations, the next 777 generations, should the Lord tarry. I'm going to bump it up. I want to thank everybody for gathering here today, and I look forward to hearing what others have to say. And I look forward to all of us continuing to stand united, not divided. Did you know we can agree not to agree and still give each other a hug and go our separate ways?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Sounds like fake news.
I know. That's it. I know. Sounds like fake news. Someone's. I want to thank our family over here for all the different things that they have that they're blessing out. Please come see them. Speak into them. Give the folks that are providing this your business. Our money can speak. I was just sharing over here. I'm collecting no's. There's a lot of places that we get to go, and they tell us you can't come in unless blah blah blah. You get the picture. But I go, oh, thank you so much, as I leave. And people are like, thank you so much. What's that about? I go, no, I'm collecting no's. I'm collecting where I choose not to spend my funding. The list is pretty long. But we have a choice, and let's let our funding speak loud for us. So help support these folks. Aero Precision, man, I make all my stuff out of that. Don't publish that. I'm already on 700 lists for other things. I don't need the government. Well, let's see what Aero Precision kits he has. And Pink Pistol, I want to say thank you. You actually helped sponsor my kids through their safety course. I say thank you for helping all of those folks that want to be out there, that want to learn safety. That's what it's about. Once we know the safety, we can continue to expand, continue helping others, and do your part in helping train, not just our youth. There's a lot of folks that just are not familiar with how to handle their arms. And with your knowledge and wisdom, you know what? They may remind you of some of the basics that we need to rebuff up on. So, I love all of you. I'm proud of you. Continue to make a stand. And I look forward to our many adventures.
Amen.
Next, we have Rick, the Gun Rights Coalition founder. He's going to say a few words to us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rick!
Right. Let's go.
All right. Well, Alan calls me the founder, but I'm actually not alone. There were a group of us, several, 4, 5, 6, and Alan actually was included in that bunch when we started the Gun Rights Coalition. They just asked me to get in front of it. So that's where I ended up. So talked about Alan's part in it, team leader. We got Jim over here. He's also a team leader in the Gun Rights Coalition as well. I don't see any other leaders out here right now, but that's a couple of them. So these folks in the building here, our representatives, they're supposed to be representing us.
Yeah.
And comment a moment ago about putting people on the spot. That's what we need to be doing with these folks in the building. They're supposed to be representing us. We need to put them on the spot and make sure that they represent us. So, beyond that, well, you know, many of you may know that Facebook actually deleted myself, deleted Jim, deleted one other team leader in the Gun Rights Coalition. Ellen had been deleted from Facebook as well. Right before the election last year. I've got a theory on why we were deleted. It may perhaps have had something to do with the presidential election. But at that time, Kyle Rittenhouse, we were seeing a post about Kyle Rittenhouse and the Gun Rights Coalition that was being posted. And Facebook kept deleting, or kept flagging it for deletion. When they flagged it for deletion, we accepted it because it applies to our group. Our group is supposed to be about gun rights and talking about self-defense and whatnot. Whether even, you know, I didn't necessarily accept it because I agreed or did not agree, but because it applied to the group. And so we were deleted. Pretty sure that it had to do with the fact that we were accepting that. I had never had a suspension, never a warning. Just all of a sudden, everything gone permanently. So, however, I'm back now. Got back on Facebook a few months ago. Wasn't necessarily because of this. However, you know, I still want to keep track of what's going on and try and be active in fighting it. The reason that I got back on was because we had a hero that we had to take care of in our community, and I wanted to be able to reach out to the community to take care of that hero, to give him an honorable funeral. So, which is why I got back on, and here we are. Let's see, what else? Founders. Well, you know, and I'm on it very I get on maybe half an hour or something each evening or something like that, but I'm not on it like I was. It's to a large extent a lot of a waste of time where I can be doing things that are better. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. The representatives, communities. That's something else I wanted to talk about, and that's where a lot of my time has been going, is into the community, as the director for the Tum Tum American Legion Riders. Working to, actually we set up a safety class here, gun safety class here, December, for the community. It was hosted by the Post and the American Legion Riders there, so we set that up. Those are things that we can do for the community to get the community talking about guns. And that's how we gain support from the community. We also need to be reaching out to our potential candidates, talking to them. 2 weeks from today, I'll have 3 sheriffs up in our community, and we are in the most remote part of the county. But that I had 3 sheriff candidates willing to come up there to the community, regardless of whether or not we have 10 people or 30 people. And I took that opportunity. So as soon as I saw that I had it, took it. Got a store owner up there that has agreed to host it. So we'll be doing that. PCO, precinct committee officers. How many here are precinct committee officers? 1. Not a lot. I've run. I'm probably going to run again this year. I didn't run the last one. I ran the time before. A little bit of dirty-handedness went on with that as to why, in the most remote part of the county where they probably hadn't had a precinct committee officer for 20 years, all of a sudden, I've got a challenger. So someone didn't want me in there. Well, I know who it was, but nevertheless. At any rate, that's one way we can be involved. Run for precinct committee officer if you can.
If there's already a precinct committee officer in your precinct, you can ask to be appointed to a nearby precinct to help represent them if they don't have one.
I'm not sure if that's. I don't think that's true. That's what I thought.
King County does that. I don't know about other counties.
So, however, if you look and check, you may not even have a precinct committee officer where you're at.
Right.
And that was another. I was supposed to be appointed. Went to the meeting to be appointed, and the chair zapped it. So.
May I say something? In Thurston County, we have 92 precinct officers. We should have over 370.
Wow.
So go to your auditor's office, look at the precincts. It's probably open.
And if it is, you can ask to be appointed.
Please, we need your help from the Republican Party treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you can ask to be appointed to an empty position, and work with the whoever it is in your area, your district, to get appointed, and then the chair appoints you, and it's done until the election. At the election, then you have to run again. However, if you're in a spot as a precinct committee officer, chances of getting reelected are much better at that point. So that's something that we can all do. Just any community being a part of your community gives you a chance to talk to people, gives you a chance to share with people, and to discuss our rights with them. This one here is extremely important. As he was saying, it's our next generation we're trying to take care of here. And some of us, we just simply don't have the option to move out of the state. I've already done that once. I moved from Oregon to here because of everything that was going on in Oregon. I'm not doing it again. I'm here. I've been here since 2003, and a good part of that I've been spending time fighting this. It was probably 10 years ago that I started getting into the fight, and I think 9 years ago that we started doing this. So, and I recall only too well, 594, we were all active in other groups. Alan had his, I had mine, Bob had one, we had several in Peggy, and we had a hearing going on, and we started getting phone calls. I think Bob was the one that set it up. Bob Bozarth was the one that set it up, started making phone calls to all of us. We showed up and we had hundreds of people back there at the back of the building for that hearing. So it's all it takes is, you know, paying attention. A lot of times we don't really want to ask something. For instance, our representatives, a lot of these representatives are a lot easier to talk to than what we think. Just ask. Send them a message. And then go talk to them. So I think I'm going to probably talk a little more than what I should have here, but it's important.
Amen.
So I'm going to, I've said this quotes. We got next person ready? Okay. I'm going to, I've said this quotes at previous rallies we've had. I'm going to say it again because this is how I feel. If guns are outlawed, only the government will have guns. Only the police, the secret police, the military, the hired servants of our rulers. Only the government and a few outlaws. I intend to be among the outlaws. And with that, I'll leave it to the next person.
Thank you again. Next we have Mike Mahaski, hopefully I said that right, from Sons of Liberty Gun Works, out of Texas.
Let's go!
Couple weeks ago I was at SHOT Show. These guys threw some great booths, and again, he flew out here because this is important. Make sure it doesn't set any more precedents, doesn't anchor and start spreading the disease to other states. So we gotta keep holding line.
Thank you so much.
Heck yeah.
So my name is Mike Mahalski. I own Sons Liberty Gun Works, and I did travel here from Texas to stand with you patriots. There's a incorrect assumption in some of the other states that Washington, California, these states have fallen and there's no hope. Well, that's not true. Okay, that's not true at all. As a matter of fact, you guys are the battleground. It's not Texas, it's not Florida, right? I mean, we have our own battles there, but this is the front line. And if we can stop them here, then we can stop them anywhere. Okay? Despite what the media says, and despite the talking heads that you see up there, gun control is not a very popular issue. It's really not. As a matter of fact, it's never been less popular than it is today. In the last 2 years, as a guy who sells guns across the country, I can tell you that the demographic of gun ownership has changed dramatically. And forever. I sold guns to Moms Demand Action. This is a true story. So I get involved in our town halls and our debates back home in San Antonio. I live in a blue county, a blue city. And before we go on stage on these debate panels and I debate the opposition, we're in the green room drinking coffee and talking about our kids and the regular life stuff. And then we go out on stage and we beat the hell out of each other. And then we go back and, you know, talk about our dogs. Well, when this pandemic kicked off and all of a sudden they realized that they needed a way to protect their toilet paper hoard, okay? All of a sudden, they started calling me to ask me about guns. I was the only gun guy they knew. I was the only gun person they knew because I was the guy that kept showing up to the debate stage. So when they needed a gun, who did they call? Funny enough, not one person asked me for the gun that held the least amount of bullets. Okay? They wanted the meanest, biggest gun they could get to protect their toilet paper. And I sold it to them. And some of my buddies looked at me like I was crazy because I'm, arming the enemy. Well, that's not the way I see it. First of all, the Second Amendment applies to everyone, even people you don't like. Okay? And the way to win this thing is to kind of depoliticize the Second Amendment. This shouldn't be a left versus right thing or any other kind of verse thing. Okay, the Second Amendment is absolute. The right to self-defense is a natural right. Okay, that can't be taken away or given by anyone. So what happened to the Moms Demand Action people that bought guns from Sons of Liberty Gun Works? We're probably the most outspoken gun company in the country, okay? Well, did I make them converts? Are they going to march with me the next rally? Probably not. Are they a little bit less enthusiastic about opposing me? Yeah. Their meetings went from 20 people to like 7. Okay, that's a victory. And if they're less enthusiastic about opposing you, then you're winning that fight. Okay? We need to remind these people up here that gun control is really not popular. They have a very small vocal group that is very consistent, that sticks in their ear. You have billionaires pumping hundreds of millions of dollars into these campaigns, but really it doesn't reflect the will of the people. It doesn't. So for everybody that showed up here today, a good homework assignment would be to engage these new gun owners. Okay? Talk to them. There's a tendency in our community sometimes to push out people that you don't like. I've seen gun owners be rude to other gun owners because they don't carry their favorite brand of gun or something, right? It's a bad way to win friends and influence people. So I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to come here and speak and to stand with you. We can win this thing. I have been a part of a few victories. I was at Lobby Day in Virginia when they were about to pass all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, the people turned out. 4 Democrats crossed the aisle. We killed that thing. All right, in my home city, they had a gun buyback program that was absurd. And we brought 400 people to a town hall meeting that normally gets 20 people. And I'm in a city where all 10 of our city council members and the mayor are as blue as it gets. You've never heard about a gun buyback again.
All right.
Okay? You absolutely can win. Engage. Don't give up. The fight only ends when you stop fighting. So stand tall, guys, and don't comply.
All right.
Thank you again, Mike. Man, Mike's all over the nation at lobby days trying to defend the Second Amendment. So, again, we have Representative Vicki Kraft from Legislative District 17, and she's been a staunch supporter of us, and pleasure to pass her on the mic.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's great to see you all here today. The mighty, the few, the proud, all that good stuff, right? The Marines and everyone who's supporting Second Amendment rights. And so I just appreciate you all. I know my colleague, Representative Jim Walsh, and Representative Robert Sutherland, and Representative Rob Chase, and I'm sure Representative Clippert, many of those folks you've seen before, heard from. We actually are in preparations to go out on the floor and fight against the ghost gun bill. So I know my colleagues are, I'll say here in spirit, and we have been getting ready to continue the fight. So I just want to say thank you for coming out, and really great to be with you all. This place obviously needs to change, and they actually need to make sure that they're standing up their constitutional oath that all of us take as legislators. So I have fought from day one coming into this place. I'll always fight for Second Amendment rights, First Amendment rights, and every single right that's guaranteed to you, us, we the people, in the Constitution. So whether it's the state constitution, the U.S. Constitution, the bottom line is you can't make laws that do away with constitutional rights. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep fighting for you. Thank you for being here. Great to see the young people out here today. So God bless you all, and we'll keep up the fight. Thanks so much.
Let's go.
Next, we have Sharon from Pink Pistols. She's been a
All right.
freedom fighter for quite a long time, so a lot of people know her from the community. She is a staunch advocate. Sharon?
Hopefully this works, because I actually changed my speech this morning with everything, with all that happened. So greetings this afternoon to all who have journeyed to Olympia to continue this fight against the insidious, bigoted, deadly, anti-human rights, anti-civil rights, gun control bills and laws. I am Sharon Hinchcliffe, S.A. Hinchcliffe for those on social media. I am one of the 3 admins of Pink Pistol Seattle Tacoma, one of the founding members of Western Washington National African American Gun Association, and partner with the Washington Civil Rights Association. What am I not? A member of the gun lobby. Kind of stuck together. I defend the human rights and civil rights of those who cannot speak out, along with those who can. I shall always call out those who support the horrific, racist, bigoted, misogynistic gun control. This isn't a fight to protect the guns. This is a fight to protect the dignity and life of all of those who have been born. Right. This is done not by fighting amongst ourselves in the 2A community, for we are a community with an incredible, passionable diversity of race, religion, and creed. We are a community that actively works together, even with those who despise us, to reduce suicide, to give hope, to reduce the gang and drug violence, to reduce the child accidents. We are, as the most incredible giving to a community, actively working to educate our youth so that if they see a firearm, they don't end up with a death, as has occurred in my own family. Programs such as Kids Safe Foundation, now reaching over 23,000 children with an anti-bullying and a pro-safety message. Programs such as our Washington-based Forefront Suicide Prevention or Walk the Talk America, founded by a 2A industry member, Michael Sedini. We are, as a 2A community, working together to reduce suicide, and all bullying. Our working together as a 2A community does not equate to our sacrificing our 2A rights. Our work as the 2A community does what those pushing the lies of gun control, the divisive purity actors, do not do. We work to save and empower lives, human lives. Last night's vote was not a positive move for Washington, as the ghouls who feast upon the suicides, the accidental deaths, and worse, salivate over the injuries and deaths occurred due to gang and drug violence, only emerging for the soundbite to push gun control, are nowhere to be seen to clean up the streets, to check on the homeless, to help the child who is lost. We, the 2A community, all of us, continue to welcome new individuals in our community with answering questions, outreach, safety training. This is the message that I bring from Pink Pistols and at the Seattle Pride in the heart of Seattle. Tacoma Pride, the March for Our Rights, that every one of us has the human right of self-determination, which is guaranteed by our ability to defend that human right of self-determination. Every one of us has this. This is the message that I bring while working to heal communities destroyed by politicians who only show up during election year for that soundbite. This work is how I've spoken to over 40,000 non-gun owners over the past 6 years.
Go, Sharon!
And yes, some of those have become gun owners and supporters of the Second Amendment. As for the work we do together, we are here. Is this easy? No. I take comfort when the difficulty of this, in advocating for this, with the examples of Saint Maximilian Kolbe, Martyr Father Nzinga, and the Blessed Sister Restituta, and with the words of Saint Mother Teresa. I end with this. I only wish to be a drop of clear water through which love can shine through. I invite all of us here, whether here or on social media or elsewhere, to be that drop of water, of clear water, as Saint Teresa says. For each one of us, then there becomes 2 of us, and then there becomes 4 of us, and then there is more. And for the ocean becomes clear water with more of us. And working together to protect all our human rights of self-determination and the ability to defend the Second Amendment. Thank you all.
Next, we have Alexandra Schmidt. She is a big supporter for constitutional carry, and she's a big freedom fighter here in Thurston County.
All right, let's go.
I just want to share a story that to this day gives me goosebumps. I'm at a concert and I meet this Australian guy and I say, "What's up with Australia? I mean, we thought you were like us, you know, loving freedom, self-reliant, etc. Keep government out of our business." And he said, we're like you, but we don't have it in writing. That gave me goosebumps. It still does. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, she has a lot of experience outside the United States, so she gets to see what restrictive government does to the people, especially when it's one-sided. So I've loved having our little coffee chats, and why she's a big supporter of constitutional carry. Next, we have Roy from Weapons Outfitter.
All right, let's go.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for taking the time out of your day to come out and be part of the process, the political process. I didn't really think of a speech. I'm not a very public person. I try to hide my face and just let my ideas speak for themselves. But I think I'm being forced to participate now in the process, and we'll do everything we can to support all Americans' rights here in Washington. I went to college here, and this is why I came back. 2 years in D.C., man, that really messed me up. And I wanted to come back to a beautiful state with great natural resources and good cost of living, good rights. All that's getting eroded. I mean, in just 20 years, you can see how much the politicians here in Olympia have changed it. This used to be a great place to live, and I'm gonna stay here as long as I can. I'm gonna keep fighting, and I know that some of you guys can't leave. And at this point, I'm like, I don't want to leave either. Right. So I'm gonna have to keep fighting too. So I'm not fucking leaving. Aero Precision, Sons of Liberty, Wade's. Thanks for coming out.
Killer Innovations.
Yeah, Killer Innovations. Industry will do what it can, but we need you, the people. I'm just a private citizen too. So thanks again.
All right.
Next, we have Senator Phil Fortunato. Again, he's been with us since day one, and exciting speaker. Thank you.
Billy boy.
He was there for our first rally, and I think he's been there everyone since.
Well, yeah, I think so. So, thank you all for coming. If you want some entertainment, you could go to TVW and look at the floor debate last night on gun ban, magazine ban. One of my amendments said that this magazine ban only applied to people with criminal intent. Because after all, that's what that's what all the testimony was. We are going to prevent mass shootings. Okay, so who's going to be doing these mass shootings? Bad people. Right now, you can imagine, I said, we should make a movie where you have a bad guy willing to do bad things, willing to go in and commit mass murder and stop and say, wait a minute, I might be in violation of this gun ban. I have to make sure I only have 10-round magazines. That way, it could be fair to the private citizens who may want to defend their lives, right? Because after all, I don't give a damn how many bullets are in my magazine. I want as many as possible. But you are limited in your ability to protect yourself. So, it started off and I said, well, wait a minute, we really shouldn't be calling these high-capacity magazines. So I had an amendment. It simply changed high-capacity magazines to regular capacity magazines. Right? I go, now, this is how confusing this bill is. You are allowed to possess a magazine in excess of 10 rounds. You can't sell it. You can't trade it. You can't do anything with it. You can have it, but you can't sell it. So stores can't sell them. So if you go to buy a new gun, you can't buy a gun with a magazine bigger than 10 rounds. If you go out of state with your more than 10 round magazine, you are allowed to come back with your more than 10 round magazine.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
How in the hell are they going to know? Right. I'm trying to figure out. I was going to come today. My daughter bought me. You ever see one of those suit coats with all the million pockets? So I was going to come. I was going to put all my magazines in all these pockets and be pulling these magazines out. I don't know how many magazines you got, but I have one. Yeah. There you go. All right.
Standard capacity.
All right.
Oh, don't worry about it. We can get it.
There we go. So, how in the hell are you going to know? So the only way that I could think of is if you go out of state, you have to buy a newspaper. Lay all your magazines out. In my case, I think it's 57. Lay all your magazines out. Take a picture with the newspaper. And if somebody says, when did you buy this or when did you leave, you can say, look, I had all my magazines and all that stuff. This is crazy. Why did I carried a Smith & Wesson Shield? Okay. Why did I go to a 365?
More capacity.
More capacity, right? Why in the world did I buy a 15-round magazine for that? More capacity. Why? Because bad guys don't care. And, I said, I don't know if I wanted to get some of these guys. State Patrol has this, the video system, laser video thing. And so when I go down to Oregon, I have a place, Threat Dynamics, and I have the video scenario. And I got to say, it's pretty cool, right? And it does get your adrenaline going. And so I was down there, and there's one where the guy says, stand here, so you stand there. And then the bad guy in the video looks right at you and draws his gun, right? So you're over there going, bang, 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 right? And the guy said, you pulled your trigger more than 5 times in less than 1 second. So, however, I only hit the guy once, right? Now, what would happen if there were, first of all, you really got to hit the guy twice with a 9mm. What would happen if there was more than one guy? Right. And so I go to a gun match and I said, how many people here could pull the trigger more than, 5 times in less than a minute? So I was 0.92, my son was 0.87, and we both got beat by a girl who was 0.68, right? And I see we have some ladies here. I was on the floor last night, and I said, this is a woman's issue. It's not a man's issue.
Amen.
All right? I said, I'm not likely to get attacked going to my car. Attractive young lady, different story. Who needs that great equalizer more? Okay? We need women to be standing up. So last night, I gave a speech. I said, this is a woman's issue. Senator Cooter in Bellevue said, it's not a woman's issue. It's a public safety issue, and women's issues are blah, 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 blah. So if you happen to be a woman in Bellevue, you may want to call Senator Cooter and tell her that you think it is a woman's issue. And this is it. Women are the key to overturning this stuff. So I'm beseeching you, and I'm asking you to please contact in this case now, it's out of the Senate, it's going to the House. You got to find out who's on the House Justice Committee, or I can't remember. In the Senate, it's Law and Justice. So we got to see where the bill's going in the Senate, in the House. Contact the people in that committee and let your voices be heard. Sign in to testify, or not willing to testify, but pro or con. It's extremely important that you do that. It sends a message. So Senator Cooter and I are on the same committee. I happen to be the ranking Republican. She's the chair. And we were discussing a couple of bills, and she says, well, I don't want to let that bill out of committee. I had some no testimony. And I said, well, didn't have any more, didn't have as much no testimony as the magazine ban, which had 7,000 no's. So it's important to let your voices be heard. And please get your daughters, get your wives, and the ladies here, convince other ladies, please participate in the process. This is your protection that they are talking about. So with that, I got to go back inside and vote no. So
get them. Go get them.
Thank you very much for coming. And thank you for the magazine.
Free mags.
I'll ask Senator Cooter if she wants it.
Yeah, we'll give her one. We'll give her one.
I invited her to go shoot, and I said, listen, I have a gun that only has a 7-round magazine, so you'll be in compliance with your own bill. So thank you all for coming.
Let's go.
Thank you again, Senator Fortunato. Next, we have Representative Jim Walsh. And before we get him up here, I'd like to get Jackson. Maybe we can also gift him a AR Standard magazine, because I know he has an AR. But for those that haven't stopped by Weapons Outfitter yet, please stop by and pick up your AR.
I'll say one thing. If any of you guys know what Freedom Week was, that was an event in California where Senator Judge Benitez, I believe his name is, overturned a ruling in California. And for 1 week, people in California were buying magazines, standard capacity magazines from all over the country. In that 1 week, estimates are as high as 1 million magazines were sold within the state of California. Distributors were wiped out, stores were wiped out, we were wiped out, and then for months, no one could get magazines restocked. If this bill passes with the time we have, we're going to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. We're going to flood this state with magazines. We'll work with our partners, Sons of Liberty. We've discussed this, and we'll see if we have to airdrop them in, by ship, by boat, drive them in, whatever. They're not going to be illegal, just undocumented. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, of course. A lovely standard capacity magazine. Well, thanks for coming out. It's a good day. It's a good day to be free. And it's a good day to live in Washington. So we're dealing with these bills. Phil talked to you about the standard capacity magazine ban. Over in the House, we've got the ghost gun ban. Yes, and we've got another extension of where you can open carry, and maybe carry it all in this open carry state. What do these bills have in common?
Democrat.
Fear. These bills are based on fear and ignorance.
Right.
You can see it literally in the drafting, in the wording of the bills. They're written by people who don't know how to use firearms. They don't know the simple mechanics of carrying a firearm. They don't know anything about shooting, whether for sport or for self-protection. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
In a House Civil Rights and Judiciary Committee meeting, and to Phil's invitation to get in touch, I'm the ranking member on the House Judiciary Committee, and we have some friends there. In one of our hearings on one of these emotional, fear-based, ill-informed bills, I asked the prime sponsor how the bill squared with Article 1, Section 24 of this Washington State Constitution. And what was her answer?
What?
I'm not familiar with that part of the Constitution, Representative. So this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is what it is. It is fear and it's ignorance. And what we need to do is spread the message that with knowledge, with experience, comes practical confidence about protecting yourself, protecting your family, and protecting your homes. That is our message. At a time in this state when we are letting criminals out of jail, at a time in this state when we are making it easier to do wrong, we have to find first things. And the first thing, although it's the Second Amendment of the federal Constitution, is your right to protect yourself. And it's a duty, really. It's a duty to protect yourself, to teach your children and your grandchildren how to protect themselves. And you'll see, as Phil said, they talk about being a woman's issue. One of the most impressive things to me that you'll see when you teach yours how to protect themselves is the true confidence that comes with being a free person who isn't living in fear. And it is true confidence. It's not arrogance. It's not ignorance. It's not threatening. It's none of the images that the controlling left wants to portray. It's quiet confidence. That's what we want, and that's what the right to defend yourself gives you. And it's what it gives every person. And it's what we seek. We don't seek to showboat. We don't seek to be flamboyant. What we seek to be is free people. And that's what this right gives you and all of us. We have to remember that. We have to remember the quiet confidence, the calm that comes with true liberty. And that's what makes the state strong. It's what makes individuals strong. It's what makes people happy, and it's what makes people safe. It's a big thing that's going on now. We have other bills that we're considering under the dome here that will do things like take away life without parole in this state. And now that it's fine in an academic discourse to talk about that, but in the real world, that is a risk to all of our well-being. That's a risk to public safety. And in these times, when our academic discourse leads us to less safety in our streets, that quiet, calm security is more important than ever.
That's right.
Our founders of our country knew this 250 years ago. The founders of this state knew this 125 years ago. When we make a free people, we make a strong people, we make a happy people, we make a prosperous people. And for too long in this town, under that dome, we've taken that all for granted, that happiness, that calm, that prosperity, that freedom. Well, we're going to take it back. Amen. We're going to take it back in this session. We're going to take it back later this year. We are going to start a wave that will return Washington to the free people who founded it.
Let's go. Let's go.
You're all part of that. I know you're my brothers and my sisters in that work. We're all part of that. It starts here in 100 and 1,000 small meetings. And it doesn't get on TV, and it doesn't get in the big newspapers, but it's happening already because people know the importance of liberty and freedom and the ability to protect yourself in a civil society. So we will return to these first things, I promise you that, and we'll have fun doing it. And we're already having fun doing it. And we will continue to. So stay strong, stay happy in your heart, because the Constitution is on our side, the right laws are on our side, and increasingly the people are on our side.
Let's go.
So God bless you all, and I'm happy to see you, and we'll be here every time that we gather together. Bye-bye.
Let's go. Let's go.
Again, thank you to our legislators there for coming out, and I see a couple more. But I'm going to get Brett here from Wade's Gun, or Brian, excuse me. Again, I want to just thank the firearm industry who's coming out and supporting. This is something that Gun Rights Coalition has been trying to do. You know, we wanted to shake Second Amendment individuals to activate and motivate. And now we want to get the firearm industry in there. So next legislative session, before the bills start pre-filed, you know, once the bills start getting pre-filed, we'd like to be able to prioritize and tackle these gun control bills. So again, thank you for the firearm industry.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Brian Zielinski. I am the GSM for Wade's Eastside Guns in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. And while I work for Wade, I am here on my own accord. All right, I'm here for my sons. I'm here for my daughter. I'm here for you guys, right? I talk for a living. That's what I do. I should probably be in there, right? But I talk for a living, and I train people. And one of the things that that I train on is that you don't listen to what somebody says. You watch what they do.
Yeah.
Right. So yesterday I turned the news on, and I listened to our governor saying that he was not going to be stampeded into a decision when it came to masks. But what's happening right now with gun control is we're being stampeded.
Yeah.
Right? And so you really have to take these people at their action.
That's right.
They're going to tell us anything that they think is going to play. Anything that's going to get them 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds on TV, they're going to say it. They're going to placate us. We're going to go home. Right? It is what it is. But you got to look and watch what they do.
Right.
And one of the principles that I live by and a lot of my guys live by is we are unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We are unapologetically Second Amendment. We are unapologetic in our beliefs. And I challenge every single one of you to be unapologetic in your beliefs.
That's right.
Do not apologize for living your life a certain way. Do not apologize for being who you are. Do not apologize for doing what you do.
Yeah.
That is your right.
That's right.
And so I was asked to speak very, very last minute. This is 100% off the cuff and from the heart. I appreciate every single one of you guys and gals and people that are here today. It means it means so much. It's cold out. It's nasty out. It's February in Washington. All right?
Could be worse.
Could be worse. All right? Could be in California. All right? Don't let them take your power away. Right? Do not let them take your power away. Do not let them take your voice away.
Yes.
Stand up at every turn. Don't be reactive, be proactive.
Yeah.
Fight the fight before the fight starts. God bless you. Rock and roll.
Thank you. Next, we have Senator Jeff Wilson from the Legislative District 19.
Well, first of all, I want to tell everybody thank you for being here. As all the speakers are going to tell you, you matter. You have to be here because last night we stayed up late arguing over something we shouldn't argue about. And we argued about numbers last night. Capacities, magazines. Let me give you my numbers of capacity. It's 1776.
Come on.
I mean, just work with me on that. Those are the four numbers that I'm going to tell you about when it comes to our Second Amendment. Last night we argued over something else, and this morning a speaker had mentioned this was a woman's issue to some extent. Oh, no. This is an everybody issue. This is an American issue. Everybody to be included. And I'd like to offer that you, in fact, give us the power. Please continue to, we're here for Article 1, Section 1, and that's what matters. I'm so grateful to even be standing in front of you today, and as we go back in and argue these issues, we shouldn't be arguing about it. And an argument last night was we need to reduce the capacity of magazines, as an example, because of studies in other countries. The other countries don't come with the greatest accessory of your life, ladies and gentlemen. It's the F word. It calls for freedom.
Come on.
Do not want to compare to other countries that don't have those liberties of freedom, because that's, to me, not on the table. There's only one America. There's only one of us as a group of society, and we will remain free.
Yes.
My speech will be short. God bless you all today.
Again, another defender for our Second Amendment rights, Senator Keith Wagner out of the 39.
Well, you just heard some really good orators, and now you got me, so sorry to bring things down a little bit. First of all, I want to thank you for being here, because you staying involved in this issue is so important, and your work that you do here and the way you vote in the future is key to us standing up for you. We've got a couple of great allies. We got the United States Constitution, we have the Washington State Constitution, and you have the folks on my side of the aisle in the legislature standing up for you. I have an A+ NRA rating, have had one every year since I've been down here. So I want to talk a little bit about the bill last night, the so-called high capacity magazine. I used that word only one time in my floor speech because it's silly. It's not a high capacity magazine, they're just magazines. And it's like saying someone who has a 20-gallon tank in their car has a high capacity tank as opposed to someone who has a 15-gallon tank. It's just a crazy arbitrary number. We were there till about 11 o'clock last night arguing our points on your behalf and on behalf of everybody in Washington State to defend that Second Amendment right. The thing that stung me the most from the opposition was they would not allow an amendment that allowed our military personnel who get PCS, permanent change of duty station, into Washington State to bring their legally acquired firearm equipment into this state. They would not allow an amendment that would just exempt them from this, which puts me in a strange position because I have two children in the military, one son and one daughter, who are going to come home here, and now they can't bring their firearms because they exceed the magazine capacities. So we're fighting hard for you. I hope that the House is going to be able to fix this. We'll see. But the long-term fix is to put more people like the gentleman you just heard from, like me, like Senator Gildon, who I see it standing up there trying to be a wallflower. Keep us there and put more people like us there. Thank you.
Let's go. Thank you.
Well, since Senator Wagner called you out, you're going to have to come up here. But he's a retired Army officer, staunch defender. And again, he's been supporting us since he's been in office. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, it's so good to see everybody out here today on this little cold day. I am Chris Gildon, your senator for the 25th district, which is the Puyallup area. So if you're in that area, come say hello. Let's chat a little bit. I believe in life. I believe in our freedoms. I believe that America is the greatest country that has ever been on the face of earth because of the freedoms that we enjoy and the liberties guaranteed under our founding documents, the Constitution and the Second Amendment, which is the amendment that defends all of the others, right? Without that, we don't have any of the others. You know, I was on the floor with the rest of the folks last night, and we were debating this magazine ban bill. And it's interesting to me because my background is in the military. So I had 5 deployments overseas to Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, and stuff like that. And I'm on these base camps this whole time that I'm there, and everybody there is carrying some kind of device that would be illegal under this bill that just passed the Senate. You're carrying an automatic rifle, a machine gun, a rocket launcher, grenades, all kind of stuff. And you know what occurred to me is that I never even encountered so much as a fist fight amongst the people who were there. And it was NATO countries, you know, there were people from all over the world gathered together, living in cramped spaces, in not great conditions. But, you know, the thing is, magazines don't pull triggers, right? People pull triggers. We don't have a magazine problem, we have a people problem in our society. And as long as we continue to enable criminals to do crime, and we continue to reduce the crime and the penalty for being a criminal, we're going to get more crime, right? What we allow today, we're going to get more of tomorrow. That's just a fact. And I tell you, folks, we have got just a spirit of lawlessness that is gripping our state, and we have got to take our state back. I've often said that, you know, a society that does not protect its citizens and enforce its own laws is a society that's destined for failure. And we are on the precipice of that failure, but it's not too late for us to take our state back. And we can certainly, the winds of change, I can feel them in the legislature. The winds of change are at our back, and we're moving out of this legislative session. I think we're going to have a few victories. Last night in the Senate, we just got reasonable probable cause put back into the police pursuit bill that came out of the Senate. That was a victory, right? So the winds of change are happening. So we've got to take this momentum that we've got today, keep moving through this legislative session. If you're not signing up to testify on particular bills in the legislature, please do so, because it matters. Encourage your friends to do so. It matters. I can't tell you how many times that the other side will come up to us and they'll say, well, there was no opposition in testimony, so this must be a great bill. No, it's a horrible bill, but just we've got to get good people to get active and get out there and sign up and let your voices be heard. You know, the doors of the Senate and the House are pretty much closed off to you right now. You've got limited ways to let your voices be heard. Use every access, every opportunity that you have to ensure your voices are heard. We need your support, and I thank God for each and every one of you. Thanks.
So I also wanted to say, take a moment of your time. A little bit about me. I was born in the Philippines. I'm a naturalized immigrant. I also served in the military. I was a retired Army officer, Purple Heart recipient, 3 combat tours. And you know what? Thank you. I was born during martial law back in the Philippines. So I remember my parents, especially when we went to the provinces, getting stuffed underneath the bed. You know, back then in the rural provinces, if you were old enough to carry a gun, you just became a child soldier in that faction. And then we also saw in the cities when the government police force, when especially you didn't side with the government, they black bagged you and took you away. A lot of people were tortured. A lot of people died during those times. And my parents had an opportunity to immigrate here to the United States. And by gosh, America showed us plenty of opportunities, and we took advantage of those opportunities. And now, when my father, I was old enough, my dad said, we want to get back to the country that's given so much to us. So he was expecting that I only do a tour one term, but I did more because I loved it. I loved the American people, and I knew I had to give back even more so. And then when I left the military, I just started seeing the stuff that was ingrained to me by you. I'm a naturalized immigrant, so I'm assimilating now, right? So I'm taking all the cultural values and all the things of freedom, and all of a sudden I came back after 10 years. I finally got put back in the CONUS, and then next thing I know, it's like it was wrong to do everything I was free to do as a child, and so I knew I had to take a stand. I was raised by a responsible gun owner, which were my parents, and so we grew up with guns. And it was not uncommon to be on my college campus and to see a tuba player with also a rifle case, because we had a rifle range on campus, to include the police force using those ranges on our campus. So things are changing, and I just wanted to do this with the Gun Rights Coalition team. One, to continue to motivate. I know year after year we stand here, but now is not the time to quit. Now is the time to stay visible. Now is the time to stay active. They're fighting the fight, but we have to do our part. And that means not only after legislative session, we have to reach, teach, inspire, motivate, and educate. That's our time. It is our time. Okay? So, again, the largest gun sales has been in the last 2 years, so we got a lot of new firearm owners out there. These are when we need to go out in the community and start these dialogues. And also be responsible. And we have a lot of great organizations, great companies here that will continue to support a lot of the Second Amendment nonprofits here. For scholarships, again, we Pink Pistols in the last couple of years have sent over a dozen sponsorships to gun courses, safety gun courses, and we need to continue to do that. So not only are we need to educate the current new gun owners out there, but continue to educate those that are coming up behind us. I'm in the I'm moving on to the second half of my life, so the first half I've given to God, country, and community. And you guys know, when I got out of the military, I've been a community activist since then. And you've probably seen me all over the place. And so now that I'm coming into the second half of my life, it's continuing to serve, make sure my kids have the ability to have the freedoms that I grew up with. And I want to make sure there's no barriers, especially the people that are making barriers for us here in So again, we need to start organizing even after their legislative session. They're going to go back, do their town halls. These are the times to ask hard questions. The people that are going to have to enforce these crazy laws that they're making, so the ones that do pass, we're going to have to also get involved in like your city police departments when they look to interview the next police chief, sheriff. When sheriffs, they get to the point where they have to go up for the next term. These are the times when we have to ask these hard questions. Where do you stand? Do you stand with us or do you stand against us? And if they stand against you, vote them out, get them out, organize, and I'll be right there standing shoulder to shoulder with you, because you guys are my brothers and sisters. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for the industry coming out. And this is what we need more of. You'll probably hear a little bit more where we start prioritizing what the bills are pre-filed, and then start organizing, sitting down as a committee outside organizing ourselves, and start looking at these bills, looking at the language, and saying, no, this is a no pass for us, and then organize to defeat those bills, and help these guys out, and then get active in the community. So I'm in a neighborhood that's a lot of blue and deep, so I'm kind of the few. But you know what? I engage with them every day, and so I've seen kind of them turn in dialogue. So I'm not going to back. I just continue to engage. So and that's what I hope you guys do, and not only support the legislators and say thank you to the ones that are helping us out here, but help them out during when the time counts. When they're here in their seats, their butts are already ingrained in the seats, but they're most vulnerable is when they're all of a sudden they put their smiley faces on and say, can I have some contribution for my campaign? And thank you very much. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Let's go. Thanks, Alan.
So please stop by these booths, check them out, bring some information. We still got some AR mags here. I'm sure a couple of our elected officials are turning red. So stop by the booths, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan. I'm gonna get some pictures and stuff.
Okay.
Banners and people. All right. Maybe you can get a picture.
Okay. Yeah, my hands are cold.
Just wanted to tell you, your dad is the chief. Oh, okay. So say hi. Like, ask my buddy. Translated into almost everything. Never think that your word is and I don't know if you've got that. When I was in school, it was required. Now I don't know what you're.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Look into how you can get involved. Again, this is an issue for everybody. And yeah, thanks. Have a great day. Make sure to check out the Flame USA.com and see about getting a subscription to the paper.
Will you send it to me?
Yes. We'll airdrop it.
Sit on one knee. Yeah.